So take 2 steps forward with that guy.
But then I mean, that's a losing move. You move your pawn that far up, you're gonna lose him. You gotta you gotta set up a series of battles to really showcase.
I thought you just wanted to see some war.
I do want to see some war, but I want to, I want to get people to enjoy a variety of different combat animations. That's what made this game great.
It is?
Yeah.
So you're saying...
Well, I'm saying chess is great. Battle Chess 4000 made it look great.
It looked great?
In 1993, this was some hot stuff. All right. I think we should bring our bishop out.
I can't say I love the art style.
We're going to threaten his king. Watch this. Nothing bad is going to happen here.
Not at all. You aren't going to be killed by him just advancing 1 pawn.
Man. I forgot so much about this game. This stupid little thinking icon.
Thinking. Oh my god, I'm in
Using
check.
All of the power of this Intel i7 to drive battle chesses.
Ooh.
Oh no! All right, let's show people what happens when you get a couple of bishops together.
Begin bishop war.
Palpatine versus Palpatine, begin. So first it has to load all of the animations. And then it's got to position everybody. And
everybody's like...
nicely gets into position.
How about you walk over there and I'll walk over here there, Sonny.
Animation.
Bleep, bleep, bleep. Ooh.
That's right. Can't do anything to me.
I am protected.
Uh-oh.
Bleep, 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 bleep.
Uh-oh. But, twist.
By going bleep, 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 bleep.
Haha, I win.
You win. That's blue guy. I thought
No,
you were a red guy.
You'll see. See, this game is full of twists and turns. You didn't see that coming, did you?
No, I did not see that coming.
You didn't see that coming.
I was like, dear God, it's bugged.
Right. Well, let's watch him die. And then we'll talk about Neverwinter Nights. We haven't forgotten you. Yeah, no, we know you're watching.
No, we're totally just going to sit here and watch you play battle chess.
You know, there's another battle chess, the fantasy battle chess.
Yeah.
And that was the original. And not as fun, because it doesn't have weird little snail people.
I'm not a fan of the weird little snail people.
This load time is brutal.
I think that could be the emulator.
The
fact that you are using it on the interwebs. So, while Phil is loading, we got a sale going on right now.
Hey, welcome to the show where we talk about Neverwinter Nights, Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale, Planescape Torment, and everything in between. So we had some technical issues earlier, so that's why we're a little late this morning. But as you can see, we're all done, and Battle Chess is underway. Oh, the fight's finally starting. We got a knight attacking our bishop here.
Does your knight have a ray gun?
He does. So it's kind of like, why wouldn't they all just be knights and just shoot everyone? But haha, now you're tiny. And then does he touch the rod and get big again?
Untiny himself?
Oh, wrong thing. There we go. Oh, still wrong.
Why didn't he just leave himself as a queen?
Yeah, good question. All right.
I would totally take
those battle chess, folks. All right, we'll
stop. Please stop. Thank you for please stopping. So right now we actually are up on sale on GOG.
Yeah, well, that's for the Infinity Engine stuff. Neverwinter Nights has yet to come to GOG, but it's coming soon. But right now you can save up to 80% on all of the Infinity Engine titles on goodoldgames.com. As well, the Portrait Pack, Baldur's Gate, Faces of Good and Evil, is now available on GOG for the first time.
Yes, it is.
And it's also going to be coming to the Beamdog website. We're refreshing the Beamdog website.
We are. We have a new dude who is banging away, making
Ryan, we love you, buddy.
Making webby stuff.
And so the new site's going to be a lot better. We'll support DLC and all that other stuff. So all the stores that we offer our things on should have the same feature set, essentially. Complete Saga is available on iOS as a bundle, so you can pick that up for a slight discount.
It's not available on Google because Google doesn't have bundles.
They will eventually. I
mean, will?
Both stores offer similar feature sets. They're always playing catch-up with one another. It's coming soon, folks. What else do we got? Oh, this is an interesting one. It doesn't really have anything to do with us, but there's this Rick and Morty dungeon. Jim Zub and Patrick Rothfuss.
What do you mean it doesn't have anything to do with us?
Well, it has to do with us.
Everything to do with us.
D&D, but like I don't think Rasad's going to be down in some liquor with Rick, so we're not that tied in.
Yeah. We just got to make it happen, dude.
But last and certainly not least, there's a new D&D sourcebook coming, folks. We have Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes coming out on May 29th, so this adds a whole bunch of new creatures for you to add into your campaigns, to converse with, or to slay.
I was always a fan of Mordenkainen.
I love the name. I think, yeah, Mordenkainen actually came from Blackmoor, that campaign setting way, way back in the day, pre-TSR days. And Mordenkainen and Bigby and a few other famous wizards, that's where they got their start. And Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes is full of really, really good stuff, so go check it out if you play D&D. I really like the 5th edition sourcebooks that they're putting out. The art has been taken to a new level.
I remember back in the day I had my original monster manual, and it was like, wow, nice art. Next page. Yeah, next page. Hey, some nice art again. Next page. Whoa.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a series out there called WTF D&D that... if you're out there and you know what I'm talking about, it's a good time.
What's funny is I think Leviatar was the first time I ever saw breasts.
D&D ushering men into the world.
Yeah, showing you breasts for the first time.
All right. So Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, go check it out. The art's fantastic. They've really... Wizards of the Coast has upped their art game so much in the past decade. I'm going to get a little braggy here. We get to see some of the pre-release materials for like their upcoming events for next year or whatever.
Yeah.
In the event that we can, work our way art as it gets worked on. And man, the process that they go through to really land these visuals is crazy, and just the amount of detail.
And the stuff is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I remember being down there and seeing that Tsunume sculpt. That thing was awesome.
Oh yeah.
That thing was.
And then there was we went down not too long ago. We saw something really good. Anyways, we're getting off track here. Go pick up Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. Totally. So, Beamdog news. We have news. We're still hiring. We're looking for technical artists. We're looking for Infinity Engine programmers. We're looking for people who can work on Neverwinter Nights. We're looking for people with controller experience. We're looking for people with tablet experience. We're looking for lots and lots and lots of people. So, if you are willing to live in the dread wasteland that is Edmonton...
Which is about to be summer and awesome.
Which is about to be summer, yeah. We got a big dump of snow like Monday or something like that.
Yeah, it's gone.
Oh, it was a nightmare. But it's gone now, so there will be no more snow in Edmonton ever. So if you move here now, you're safe.
Phil promises no more snow ever. So we're really as well looking for people who have done console development. So if you've done any of the consoles like Xbox One... PlayStation 4.
To be fair though, like
Switch.
These days, being a console developer is more about like being familiar with the technical requirement checklist.
That is true.
Because programming for these consoles, I mean, it's an x86 box, right? Like it's not the PS2 days where you had to write everything backwards and do crazy, horrible things. It's pretty much, hey, I made a Windows app and it took me 4 hours to get it booted on an Xbox One.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot better than, like, I remember the PS2 days. You were like, we must find the man on the hill who knows how VU1 and VU2 actually work. Or it was actually VU0 and VU1.
Has actually been to Japan, and he saw the foundry where the Emotion Engine was born.
It was basically like some dude got totally carried away on hardware. He's like, I'm going to make the ultimate hardware ever. I don't care if people can use it. It's going to be awesome.
By calculating everything backwards using Polish notation, we can save 0.2 frames per... Yeah.
Exactly. Things will be much faster.
That was a dig at Cam. I don't know if you could tell, but Polish notation, he tried to push that on me once, and I was like, no, man. I'm not...
Reverse Polish notation?
I'm not doing it. I don't understand.
That's totally Baldur's Gate script, man. Stuff is hell.
Final Beamdog news, the 2.5 update for the Infinity Engine still rolling out. So some background information on what we're up to. So BG2 and Icewind Dale are actually pretty good. They're going to be fine for 2.5. The big changes are in BG1 and also Siege. We had to do on Android an SDK upgrade. So when you build an Android app, you use whatever the latest SDK is from Google for Android.
Yep.
We were on like version 14 and they're up to like version 25 now. So upgrading that has been a whole bunch of work. Good work because it improves a lot of things and it's stuff that we need to do anyways.
Yep.
But we're also being a better Android citizen, so the back button will behave consistently.
It's pretty neat, actually.
Yep. We're also investigating some performance issues. Like there was a bug where if a character was on fire, you know, that little flame effect and smoke that they get going on, the frame rate on certain iOS and Android devices would collapse because it was doing really stupid things with the sprites. So we're fixing that up. There's a crash on the Samsung S8 Plus that we've looked into. We're also adding a bunch of new analytics and performance monitoring code to the IE games because 2.5 is all about harmonizing everything, getting everything stable, and then in 2.6 we'll be able to track down and kill any of those remaining crashes, stalls, any of that stuff.
Who would have thought it would take a long time to take 5 games and bring them roughly into sync?
Yeah. So we have some analytics already, but these are much better analytics, and we'll be able to get a lot more insight into why things are crashing, why this particular Android device is pausing for 5 seconds while it does stupid things.
Yeah. So we're digging into it.
Yeah. And then, of course, the biggest of all is fixing up Icewind Infinity Engine multiplayer. So it's gotten worlds better in the last few patches, but we're still marching it forward. So actually the story of Neverwinter,
not Neverwinter,
Infinity Engine.
So Phil was asking me about this earlier, and he's like, tell me, old man, tell me about the days of Infinity and multiplayer.
Spin me a tale.
Spin me a tale.
Because Battleground Infinity was not multiplayer
Battleground
enabled.
Infinity was a smoking pile of crap. It was this DX3
and
direct draw thing that was mocked up. Like, if you ever find Battleground Infinity footage out there, it's nasty.
I've seen screenshots of it.
It was basically a guy walking around and he could do one thing. He could click a drop down and smite, and it would go, and the sound effects were horrible. At any rate, so the master plan, because we were working with Interplay told us, hey, the best way to sell lots of copies of your games is to make it in multiplayer. So Scott sat down and we hired this guy at BioWare named Mark Brockington. And I'm
aware of Mark.
He had a PhD in comp sci mathematics. So we hired him. Everybody sat down. It's like, yeah, it should take us 3 months to make this game multiplayer. 6 months later, Mark is working like a dog. Everybody's grinding hard on it. Tobin, Manthorpe, and myself are running a multiplayer test lab. I ran 3 machines, he ran 3 machines, and we would set up multiplayer games and we would play together until it crashed, and then we would go and get somebody. They'd come, they'd look at the crash log, they'd go back to the computer, make some changes, send us some new code. We would re-update and go at it again.
I love computers.
It was literally like an education in how QA can be frustrating.
So the lesson is, don't listen to Interplay when they say, just inject multiplayer.
No, Interplay was right. Multiplayer made it a more fun game. Don't listen to the programmer who tells you it'll be done in 3 months.
Fair enough. That's the other lesson to take.
That is the truth, though.
All right, we got a question.
To paraphrase a little bit.
And actually, I love this question because we were literally discussing this yesterday. Well, I'll let you read it.
Legit, though, at Beamdog, please forgive me, but can you honestly make it so remains spawn faster in Neverwinter Nights EE?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we totally need to do that. I mean, ultimately, I hate the whole concept of the remains. I'd almost rather just have the remains drop to the ground and have the chest or bag or whatever we're using for a holder just spawn instantly. And then the body can fade out. You don't care. Make the body non-interactable. So it'd be a bit of a big change. It'd probably break a whole lot of stuff. But
I don't know if it would, though, because like spawning the bag at time of death rather than after fade out, you can't interact with a fading corpse anyways at this point.
I don't think anyone wants to interact with a fading corpse.
I mean, who does? Just look at me. No one wants to interact with me.
Fading corpse.
So yeah, we'll look into that. We agree. It should be a lot quicker. There's actually a lot of things about Neverwinter that are similar, like little hitches or pauses that don't need to be there anymore. At the time of development, there was a certain tick rate because computers were so fast.
Yep.
But a lot of that can go away now. So yes, we'll look into it. We'll throw it on our ever-expanding pile of things to improve about Neverwinter.
We got another question. In BGEE, but it occurs in Icewind Dale EE. Can you backport it?
Yep.
Probably.
If it's not on the bug list, we will look into it and get it in there. Trent, what happened to
God.
kicking the engine in the pants? I don't see much enhancement in the enhanced
Ow!
edition.
Ow!
Jeez, man.
The engine is going to take some time to get give all the fixed function renderer, and we in its place enabled a bunch of things, but enabling is half the equation. The other half is we actually have to build the art content to support it and to be able to carry it forward, or you have to carry it forward.
Wow.
So a lot of the fan modders are actually making good progress in this area and building some new content. We're releasing a little bit here and there just to kind of show people what we're thinking about.
That if you Neverwinter Nights, there's 2 modules. For example, the new Erebith example.
Yep.
There was the new male player character example.
Yep.
There was a Hall of Justice experiment showing off what you can do with normals and spec.
Yep.
And I believe today there is a package showing off some new axes and weapons in the workshop.
Great axes.
So if you search for great axes, you can see some stuff here. So this is some very early work that we put into just investigating how we could upgrade the weapons in place using the new system. So Boyd McKenzie, an artist here at Beamdog, has come in and redone a bunch of the axes and weapons in Neverwinter Nights, so you can check out what we're up to there. So we're still going to be working on these, and these are just experiments and tests, but it's an example of what is coming down the pipe, and I think the future of Neverwinter Nights is very, very exciting. I just can't really talk about it right now.
Yeah, it's one of those things, the future will slowly roll out.
That is right.
Here's a question. Regarding NWN EE, what's the progress on fixing the fairy dragon lag?
Fairy dragons. If I had a nickel for every time a fairy dragon gave me a bunch of grief, I would have like $30.
You would?
No, I'd have like 4 cents.
You'd have a nickel.
If it's a bug and it's tracked, we'll get into it.
Yeah, we haven't, at least I haven't seen it assigned yet, so it's one of those things we've got to take a look at it.
We'll get there, buddy. We're going to take some more questions from the audience, but in the meantime, how about I engage your eyes and ears with some Icewind Dale so that you're not just looking at our ugly mugs.
You're playing Icewind Dale?
Yeah, I love Icewind Dale.
You're talking to Rothgar.
I would argue that Icewind Dale had perhaps one of the best Infinity Engine soundtracks.
It was a good sound.
Very Jeremy Soule.
Very Jeremy Soule.
How did he come up? He came up with Total Annihilation. I remember that was kind of the first big
was that his
soundtrack
first
that he
gig?
did. Although I'm sure he did stuff before that, because you don't get to that level of skill with Total Annihilation and not have an excellent track record.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you where I met Chris for the first time?
Where did you meet Chris for the first time?
It was at GDC. There was like this rando drunk guy who was going on and on about being Canadian too.
Now, when you say Chris, do
Chris
you mean
Taylor.
Jeremy?
No, I mean Chris Taylor.
Oh, Chris Taylor.
From Total
right.
Annihilation.
GPG, I love those guys.
Yep.
Although GPG's not around anymore.
I was like, who's this rando drunk guy who keeps hanging around us? Oh, wait. Hey, he actually made a game that was good. Dude. And then we wound up talking for a while. And we became good friends. But, man, he was hosed.
You know what I loved about
Whoa,
Cave
you're giving
Dog.
away all your money. Are you insane,
I'm
Phil?
a pious person.
You are a pious person.
The what did they call it? Was it the Boneyard? They had this like living tournament for Total Annihilation with this sort of like meta game for control of the galaxy, and I always thought it was cool as hell.
Of course.
Greatly appreciated. You're welcome.
You just give away all your money and you're greatly appreciated.
We gave all our money away.
Here's a question. What do you guys think of doing an EE version of NetHack? On a more serious note, what's your favorite ASCII roguelike?
Somebody already did it. It's called Falcon's Eye.
Falcon's Eye.
I don't know. I love roguelikes a lot. I played Ancient Domains of Mystery probably far more than I should have as a youth. So that would be my pick. Adam was my favorite roguelike. Trent, tell us all about your favorite roguelikes and all of the NetHack clones that you played.
I hated those kind of games. I was not a fan. The instant graphics came about, all ASCII games went away for me.
See, I loved roguelikes because as a youth, I stumbled upon an ancient like 286 ThinkPad laptop.
Oh, God.
So it couldn't run anything. And also the RAM was busted, so any addresses above like the 7 meg limit would cause a crash.
7 megs, man, that's a lot.
And it had 16 megs, so I had to artificially limit it to 7 or less. It was NetBSD. So my gaming options were quite limited.
Do you remember what happened last time you went this way, Phil?
I do, but this time I have a plan.
You have a plan?
The plan is to use magic against goblins.
Your plan is to use magic.
Yeah. Watch this. I'm going to put them all to sleep, first of all.
I'm going to make a suggestion.
Night, night.
See, now what you should have done is put the archers to sleep, but we'll leave that.
Well, I mean, it's a gamble, right? You don't know who's going to fall.
Here's a question / request. Can we get a get last event function that returns one of the new event script pointer constants depending on which event triggered the script?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Possibly. As always, if it's a request, it needs to get we need to be able to see it and get it in front of the right people so that they can make a call on it. Here's one. Can we make it so skin, shadow shield, stone skin, applies to large creatures instead of that circling dumb thing that happens? That circling dumb thing, my friend, is an optimization because we had problems with large characters being stone skinned. The stone skin texture just looked craptastic because it was huge. Oh wow, look. What a surprise. Phil has almost died.
Now it's time to engage my plan.
Running away and bucketing off. Brave, brave Sir Robin.
Damien, help me.
So I will run back to town and have the townsfolk save my lame party.
If you've got a better idea, I'd love to
help me. The answer is fight better, Phil.
Sorry, you were talking about an optimization.
So yes. So one of the things that becomes an option when you get better textures and better resolutions is trying that on larger creatures and seeing what happens. This is one of those things that artists just hate when programmers go in and grab control of something and I'm going to take that beautiful texture and mapping and everything that you did and I'm just going to glom it with this texture on top. So it's a bit of a challenge there for some of the larger creatures.
I was yelled at many times for breaking viz in building maps, and I was like, yeah, but look how good it looks.
It's really pretty. Last stream, I mentioned a monster behind the resource limit for Neverwinter modules. Can I expand a little on that? Is it still being tackled? The monster really is just hard coding of numbers. Somewhere in the code, a number is declared. And when that number is declared at a certain scope, like int, or could be an int 16 or an int 32, could be unsigned. If we go in and we change that, suddenly all the assets, and in most cases, a lot of Neverwinter data gets actually dumped pretty raw. So you change the scope of something pretty radically, there's a good opportunity you're going to blow up not only a bit of content, but a whole ton of content.
Sorry, I'm just
executing
my skillful plans here. Question from the audience.
There's still a goblin coming for you.
What about the next BG2 beta for 2.5? So as I was speaking earlier in the stream, BG2 is actually in pretty good state. I'm hoping that if BG1 and Siege finish up some key issues today, next week is when I would be pushing out the BG2 2.5 beta update. Yep. And the plan is still this month is when 2.5 is going to start rolling out. So you'll see 2.5 start appearing this month in April.
Here's a question. Any NWN toolset progress recently?
Ooh, yeah. We didn't ship it with this latest patch, but there is a new toolset build. I guess you can talk about it.
Yeah, it's graphically quite different. It's built in the newest version of the C++ builder environment. So visually it looks a little different. We're just going through trying to test it, make sure we can catch all the scenarios where it blows up. Because there are scenarios where it still blows up.
Mm-hmm. It also works a tiny bit better with Wine, if you're on Mac or perhaps Linux, I guess.
Yep.
I've been running the toolset on Wine on my Mac, and performance wasn't great in the previous one, so I'll have to do some experiments with this new version.
I think it's quite a bit. And we're still playing with a couple features there. I think some of them will be pretty cool.
Yeah. So now that we're modifying the toolset, it's mostly been about adding support for our new graphical features and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and making sure the toolset works properly because it's a big upgrade. I mean, taking a code base and recompiling it 10 years later in a completely new version of the tools tends to change a fair number of things.
That's fair. Question from the audience. How would Beamdog react if they were offered to be bought out by Electronic Arts? Do you work for EA? Is this your subtle way of saying...
Are you soliciting us?
I'm not going to comment on that one.
That's because you're
not going to.
Or any other company buyout is it's gonna come down to who we are as a company and who they are, and sometimes it makes sense.
Most of the
time it doesn't.
But I mean, I would have a hard time saying no to a dump truck of money backed up to the front door. You know.
Well, it's always that you always think about, hey, with a dump truck of money, I could do all the things that I can't do now because we're kind of broke-ish. So.
Are we broke? We're not broke, are we?
We're not broke.
Okay.
Broke-ish.
I was worried for a second there.
Here's a question. When will placeables indoors once again be able to be used as listeners in NWN EE? I didn't know they couldn't be.
Add it to the list. We will triage it. We will take care of it for you.
Put her up in the discussions. Get it to the Trello board. That's
so the way it works is we got the public Trello board. We've also got a public bug tracker and all sorts of stuff like that. We do triages multiple times per week to go through reports that are coming in and to assign what the next sprint's going to be. So if you've got a particular issue and you're like, hey, is this going to be fixed? If it's in the database, it will eventually get worked to.
Yep. Here's a question. Could you consider doing an enhanced edition of Mass Effect Andromeda? You could fix the facial animations. I think the Andromeda people are probably doing that themselves. I don't think there's value in us getting in there, and I don't know if they'd pay us to do it.
You know what I'd love to do is an enhanced edition of Fortnite, and we can be the merchant of record for it, and we'll take care of that for you.
We'll
Epic.
just wrap Fortnite with something and claim it as our own.
There you go.
That sounds lovely.
I feel like we should give away some prizes. We haven't done that all day today. We've been bad hosts.
Well, most of the time we've been staring angrily at Dan while he clicks buttons trying to make things work. At least I got a smile out of him.
All right, we'll give away some prizes, which is the only reason that you watch, let's be honest here, is to get free stuff. So
we're the only reason I would watch you, Phil.
I wouldn't watch me willingly.
No.
What should we give away? We want to give away
Infinite
Dungeons for Neverwinter Nights, some DLC.
Some Deluxe.
All right. The winner of a key on Steam for Infinite Dungeons is Neshi85.
Neshi.
Congratulations,
85.
buddy. You're 33.
Yep.
All right.
A little earlier on, we talked about the tool set, and one of the things we actually been playing with is this idea of having the tool set open up. Like currently, a Neverwinter module is a concatenation of a ton of files into one .mod. And when the game goes to run it, it unpacks it and it runs it.
Ooh, yeah.
And the tool set, when it goes to edit it, it unpacks it and edits it. So with Baldur's Gate, you could go in and you could modify those individual files, which allowed people to collaborate a lot easier. Neverwinter being packaged up in a mod make it much more difficult. So the new tool set will actually allow you to open out a module from all those source files and save to those source files. So that opens up kind of a lot of options going forward for collaboration. It also allows you to gaze at the file system hell that makes up a Neverwinter Nights module. So that should be pretty cool, being able to open essentially from source assets a module. Here's a question on the Intel bug. Is there an update anytime soon on the Intel bug?
Yeah.
The answer
specifically for this.
We bought a laptop
chipset.
and it crashes inconsistent enough that Jason has not been able to find the problem and fix it. But we are actually in contact directly with Intel, and we've had them duplicated on their end, and they're actually trying to go through the debug stack right now and find out what's happening. And hopefully, in collaboration with Intel, we'll be able to solve the problem. So I'm hopeful, because they're the guys who make the stuff, and if they can't fix it, nobody can. So let's also give away a copy of Pirates of the Sword Coast.
Okay.
Let's give it to Lord Vefar.
Lord Vefar.
Vefar.
Buddy, you win a copy of Pirates of the Sword Coast.
Patow.
And again, these are Steam keys, so if you win this and you're like, I don't want this, I already own this, you can give the key away, or you could perhaps sell it to some enterprising individual or if you yourself are enterprising. If you find me on this server whose name that I forget, I'll give you a T-shirt. Just throwing it out there.
If you find me on this name of this...
I don't know. I forget what server this was, so you're going to have to jump back in the stream to look. But if you track me down...
It's a very dark server with a very bright moon.
Well, it's nighttime, you know?
It's a threatening moon.
Yeah. In the meantime...
Question. Enhanced edition of Fallout 1 and 2.
Every stream.
The answer is we could have if they just would have said yes. So say yes, guys.
Well, technically they did say yes, but the terms were not, excellent.
Well, no, they didn't say yes. They said, what would it take? And I said, X, Y, Z. And they said, oh, my God.
That's a yes by another name.
Yep. So that didn't happen. Will the 2.5 patch for Baldur's Gate come out in our lifetimes? Maybe.
I need to have like a scrolling text at the bottom, like on CNN or the news, just be like...
Patch has still not shipped.
Daigle lies. Patch not coming.
Daigle lying.
QA process continues into the night.
Yeah. So the 2.5 patch is one of those standard problems we have, which is, okay, let's fix the list of things. Okay, we fixed that list of things. Oh, testing uncovered some more things. Let's fix some new things. Oh, tests found some more bugs. Let's fix those. And it just keeps growing and growing. It's one of those things which is all too, I guess, constant with the Infinity Engine. You continue to find bugs almost 20 years after it is shipped.
But if you were watching earlier, I said that 2.5 is going to start shipping this month, which is still true.
It is.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of month left there, Phil.
Not a lot of month left. Coming up real tight here.
Not a lot of time. Let's give away a copy of the Wyvern Crown of Cormyr.
Wyvern Crown of Cormyr. All right, we're going to give away a Wyvern Crown of Cormyr to the Corey.
The Corey.
Wyvern Crown of Corey.
Not Corey, the Corey.
So enjoy Wyvern Crown of Corey, the Cormyr.
How often is Doge referred to at the studio?
Well, Trent's actively mining Dogecoin still, and I initially was like, hey, that's funny, but the joke landed, a year ago. But now it's coming back in high value.
I haven't mined Dogecoins ever, dude. I was like total Litecoin miner, and then I had my Bitcoin miners, and then they all let the magic smoke out.
See, you think he's kidding? Literally next to my desk in the main office, there's a Bitcoin miner that we use as a heater.
We used it as a heater.
Yeah.
But winter's over now, so I don't really need it. And it's good because I smoked all 7 of them that I had. They are now all dead. Dead. Actually, the last one I just blew up the power supply. But
I was there. There was a loud pop, and then the magic smoke came out. And,
and then there was no more heat. Here's a question. Any new feature ETA on the horizon soon? We got nothing huge I think we want to kind of talk about. If it's on the Trello board, we're going to be poking at it, and we're working on it. I mean, we're trying to step it all forward.
There's stuff in the works. We're not going to go public with it until we're kind of ready to announce. But I potentially might be parachuting in to do some cool Neverwinter things in the future.
Yeah, you're going to be helping out on the Neverwinter side, which will be cool.
Which means that I will not be doing Infinity Engine stuff in the future. So my terrible job of running that will cease. All right, question from the audience. Would it be as cool as I think it would be to be able to manually adjust collision on tile set pieces? What you think is cool
is liquid pain. Liquid pain. Like concentrated liquid pain. That is what Collision and Neverwinter Nights
really what you want to do is get new tiles that have better default collision rather than try and fix the existing stuff that's there.
And a collision detection system that's a little less confusing.
So we're looking at some interesting source code from a variety of sources.
And we're actually pulling in another ex-Bioware person for some help on the big thing.
It's time to eclipse the current version of Aurora and come up with a much better version.
You're funny.
Yeah.
How about an EE version of the Wing Commanders? Any chance for that?
That would actually be really cool.
Probably not.
Ooh, you know what we're gonna do?
I do like killing me some Kilrathi.
We're gonna link up with the dude that did oh crap, what was that game called? It used to be called Enemy Starfighter, and then he had to change the name to Sins of a Solar Empire. No, not that. It was called
sorry, Phil.
Someone in the audience is gonna know. It's a VR cockpit game.
Okay.
Really, really good. Used to be called Enemy Starfighter. Someone in the audience is going to tell me
No.
Now.
Here's a question, though. You mentioned that you'd like to do new content for Neverwinter Nights versus redoing the old. Wouldn't it make more sense to redo old art assets, which would enable them to be reused in the new potential content and the future fan modules?
It would make
You would
sense
think
to do
so,
that.
except for one problem. By redoing old art assets, we're actually linked to how old art assets are represented in the game and are referenced in every adventure out there. If we go through and we revise the pathfinding system, and we've redone the old tiles, and you have an older module that relies on the pathfinding, and we've suddenly changed it radically, we will have broken a huge volume of user-created content that exists. So we're cautious about stepping on the old content. We're trying to update stuff that's not going to cause us a ton of pain.
But notice the word use, cautious, not completely turned off.
Yes. So it's a tough one. Dan's giving us the eyes. You got 3 minutes left. Sorry for the late stream. Blame me. That means Dan.
House of the Dying Sun.
House
of the Dying Sun is the game that I was talking about. We're going to take Wing Commander and put it in there, and it's going to be great. All right, moving on.
ETA on being able to add new weapons.
Very soon.
Now, what do you mean by that? Do you mean being able to add new weapon types or new forms or just new weapon art?
I think new types, because new forms you can add, or new classifications you can add now.
So the new art, I mean, we're going to be periodically dropping some art as we continue to work on the game. As for making new things, that's another question. We're going to give away another T-shirt. The T-shirt is to John Dobsky.
John Dobsky, you win a T-shirt, buddy.
Well done, John.
I tried to track down another player and ask him for money, but he ignored me.
Why am I not surprised?
Does no one want a T-shirt? All right.
Here's a request. The hero of Neverwinter must meet Erebeth in Cania and give her a ring. This is a great love story.
I think the truth of the matter is that Kalar Argent and Erebeth just get together and they have a bunch of fun adventures in hell. That's the game that we're going to make.
Really?
Battle Sisters.
In hell.
In hell.
Ba-dong, ba-dong.
That would actually be a sick game now that I think about it.
Battle
2 paladins? That'd be dope.
Battle
Well, I guess
Sisters in hell.
Kalar wasn't a paladin. She was a fighter. Whatever.
Yeah.
All right, guys. D&D Beyond is up next, so if you're joining us from the Dungeons & Dragons stream, you will be enjoying D&D Beyond after us. For those of you who are watching on the Beamdog stream, we will see you next Friday. And
we have a couple minutes left. I forgot.
Right, we have a couple minutes.
Blacksmithing stuff. I got a chef's knife on the go. We'll hand it to the hand of Dan. Watch it, Dan. There's a burr where I drilled the hole. And I have a... And I brought along the part that is going to become the crossguard. The joy of handling sharp things without stabbing Dan and hurting him badly. So that one, it looks like a sphere of brass on it, which is what it is. So it's actually going to be pretty cool.
Frightening. Very frightening.
Always, always. Luckily, these are really dull and soft right now, so they're only stabby threatening.
So... As we wrap up here, so Beamdog is still hiring. We're looking for C programmers, people who have a lot of experience with consoles and controllers. 2.5 is going to start shipping this month for the Infinity Engine. And Neverwinter Nights, the development branch is still live on Steam if you want to go check that out. There's the Bleeding Edge branch, I guess, that has all of our latest changes.
Yep.
And... all of the Infinity Engine titles are on sale on GOG right now for 80% off. The Faces of Good and Evil Portrait Pack is also available on GOG for the first time ever.
Yeah. Another thing to do is keep an eye on our jobs page, because we are actually going to be expanding the roles we're hiring. We've got a lot of things on the go and a lot of opportunity.
Hey, so
we'll actually be kind of broadening out some of our hiring master plans.
Tell them about the office space we were looking at yesterday.
No, I'm not going to talk about any kind of office space. I am saying nothing. There will be no words regarding that.
The location's pretty hilarious.
It is hilarious.
All right. We will see you guys.
We are going to be living in a dump. We're actually going to...
What a beautiful picture that you paint.
Go to the landfill. I'm kidding.
All right, nobody managed to track me down and get a T-shirt except for this NPC who apparently tagged me. So next time, log in, get a shirt. We will see you next Friday. And until then, please enjoy Neverwinter Nights. Go check out development build number 8168, which is available on Steam right now.
And now D&D Beyond next.
See you beyond. Oh my God, this person.